Hey gang, Bronco Carl 92 here. So today I have a battery tester from Topdon. It's called the ArtiBattery 101. And Topdon was nice enough to send it to me to try out. I've tested some other tools for them before. And in general, they make some good stuff. So let's see how this one does. So here we go. Okay, so here is our Topdon ArtiBattery 101 battery tester. So they sent this thing to me to try out. So it's simple enough. It looks like just two leads plug into the battery, and then we can do some testing with it. So there's some instructions here. So anyway, let's go find a couple of batteries to test. All right, so I located a couple of batteries. So first we have a Spiral Optima gel cell, and then we have, or excuse me, AGM. And then we have just a regular flooded marine battery. I'm sure that these probably both need a recharge because they've been laying around for a while. And then we can go out and check the battery in the tractor and a couple of other vehicles around here. So obviously we would hook up positive and negative. And the screen lights up. And it shows right now that it has 11.32 volts charge. So we'll hit OK. We'll select English. And we're going to do an out-of-vehicle test. And we're doing a before charge test. We'll want to select AGM Spiral. And then we want to select our coil cranking amps. This is an 800 CCA, so went past it. Okay, hit OK, and now it's testing the battery. And it's showing the internal resistance is 45.44 milliohm or mega ohms. And that we should charge and retest the battery. So let's try our marine battery next. This battery is only 8 volts, 9 volts. So hit OK. Out of vehicle test, before charge, flooded battery. And this is a, see, now we can select either CCAs, or we can take cranking amps, PCI, MCA, marine cranking amps. It's a marine battery, so we'll select marine cranking amps and see what that does. So we'll hit OK. And this one is 625 marine cranking amps. And it's testing it. So this battery also needs to be charged and retested. So I'm going to put these on charge, and we'll come back and check them later, and then we'll find something else to test. So let's get the charger on these, and let's try my old farm tractor. We got 12.64. This is 525 cold cranking amps. That's confusing. State of health 61%. Replace battery. Okay. Start engine. Alright. Okay, so this is the BMW. This should be an interesting test. This car's been sitting for a few weeks without being started. And the battery that's in this car was actually stone dead when the engine failed on this car like 2-3 years ago or whatever. And the battery was dead for probably at least 2 years. And I managed to get the battery back to life. So it'd be interesting to see what this does. I mean, the car does start and everything all the time, but... Okay, so 11.8 volts. English. In vehicle. Before charge. Flooded battery. Cold cranking amps. That's a good question. Okay, so... Had to take a look at the battery under the seat. Not easy to get to, but it's 850 cold cranking amps, so... State of health is 11%. It's not really that good. Start engine. Low cranking. Alright, so I got both batteries charging over here. I gave the Marine battery a quick charge with the big booster battery charger, and the Optima is charging with an Optima charger over here. So anyhow, this thing charged for about a half an hour. Let's see what we got. Okay, now You got 12.8. And this is an out of vehicle test. And this is after charge. It's a regular flooded battery. We're going to do the MCA. And that is correct, 625. And it says to replace the battery. State of health 53%. Kind of confused about this state of health and why the battery says it needs to be replaced. Oh, anyhow. Okay, so I'm a little confused by the state of health and the replace option that keeps coming up on the screen. The instructions say that if you do an in-vehicle test and it says replace, before deciding to replace the battery, you should cut it out from the vehicle. So we disconnected it, and we're going to test this tractor battery again. Out of vehicle. Cold cranking amps, 525. Now it says it's a good battery. So maybe the connection is no good. State of health 68%. Interesting. So the ground cable that was on here was kind of iffy, I would have to say. So I decided to replace it. I've been wanting to do that for a long time anyway. And it says replace again. That's very frustrating. Alright, so our Optima has been charging for about 24 hours. Now this message came up on the charger, so I think the battery's shot. Let's test it. It's actually warm. Battery's actually 6 years old. Let's see what we got here. Replace. State of health 45%, and it's only 565 amps of 800, so she's done. To the recycling pile. All right, so I have the instruction booklet here. I just want to talk a little bit about the different states of the battery testing. There's actually 5 states. So we have a good battery, we have good recharge, we have replace, we have bad cell replace, and we have charge retest. So obviously, good battery is a battery that has a good state of health, has a good state of charge, and basically passes its cold cranking rating. Good recharge is the battery's good, but the voltage is low. The state of health is high, state of charge low, and they want you to recharge it before using. Then we have replace, the one that kind of confused me a little bit. The battery is near or already reached the end of lifetime. Replace battery. Otherwise, bigger danger will be followed. This is kind of interesting because normally you would say state of health would be low. In some cases, we had replace where the state of health was actually high. In other cases, we had a good battery with a low state of health, which it doesn't make any sense to me. But the next is a bad cell replace. That's basically the state of health is 0%. The battery's pretty much dead inside. It won't do anything. And then charge and retest. That's an unstable battery. It should be recharged and retested to avoid error. If the same test result appears after the recharge and retest, the battery is regarded as damaged. Replace the battery. It's interesting. That's what happened with our Optima. It actually originally said when we did the before charge testing, the battery was fine, just needed to be recharged. And then after we charged it, we did another test on it, and it said to replace the battery because the state of health is low. So anyhow, the tool seems to be a good tool. It's easy to use. It gives you some diagnostic information as far as if your alternator is working, and of course, like I said, the health of the battery and everything. So I'd recommend it. You can buy this tool on Amazon. I'll put a link in the description. Okay, so let's talk about the different battery type ratings that we would be testing. So we have CCA, BCI, CA, MCA, JIS, DIN, IEC, ENSAE, and GB. So these are basically the different type of testing methods that you'd use on the battery, or how they're rated, and that usually would be found on the label on the battery. So, for example, our marine battery has 500 CCA and 625 MCA on it. So that's 500 cold cranking amps or 625 marine cranking amps. Our Optimum has a cranking, or CA, of 1000 or cold cranking of 800. But I'll just go through the values just so you understand what they are. So CCA is cold cranking amps specified by SAE and BCI, most frequently used value testing for starting battery at 0 degrees Fahrenheit or minus 18 Celsius. BCI is Battery Council International Standard. CA is cranking amp standard, effective starting current value at 0 Celsius or 32 Fahrenheit. MCA, Marine Cranking Amp Standard, effective starting current value at 0 C or 32 Fahrenheit. JIS, Japan Industrial Standard, displayed on the battery as combination of the numbers of letters e.g. 55D23, 80D26. So I guess if you have a Japanese battery, you'd find those numbers on the battery and test accordingly to that. DIN, that's the German Auto Industry Committee Standard or Deutsche Industrial Norm. IEC, International Electrotechnical Commission Standard, not familiar with that one. EN is the European Automobile Industry Association Standard. SAE, Society of Automotive Engineers Standard of American, we all know SAE. And GB is the China National Standard. So anyhow, when you're testing your battery, you'd want to use one of the values that would be on the label. Hope that wasn't too confusing. We're going to talk about the starting testing, or the cranking test as they call it. So basically the tester will prompt you to make a cranking test to start the engine. Starting the engine as prompted, tester will automatically complete the cranking test and display the result after you see RPM detected. Normal cranking voltage that's lower than 9.6 is regarded as abnormal and is okay if it is higher than 9.6. The test result of the tester includes actual cranking voltage and actual cranking time. So basically, as you crank, the voltage obviously is going to drop because you're putting a large load on the battery. The tester will catch the peak low, and that will be your value. It'll also tell you how long the cranking was. It's helpful. It can tell you if your battery is weak or not. It can tell you if you've got maybe a cable problem, maybe you've got a starter that's bad. Then we have the starting system and rectifier diode test. It's pretty simple. Basically, you increase the engine RPM. Once the engine RPM is detected as up, it will measure the voltage and it will see if you're charging or not. And that could tell you if you have a problem with your wiring again, or if you have a problem with the rectifier or the actual alternator itself. So anyhow, thanks for watching. Appreciate my viewers. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe if you like the video, if you want to see some other stuff. Hopefully we'll get some more videos up this year. Happy New Year to everyone, and thanks for watching again. Take care.